Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in one more time for another book review. I'll first apologize because summertime has been summertiming, okay? And I just have not really been in the mood to make videos. Now, I have read quite a bit, and I have quite a few videos to make. However, I don't know. I just haven't been real gung ho about carrying that task out. But um, hopefully I'll get back in the mood so you will have some content to view. As I say, this is a hobby. This is not a job. I am not getting a check for this. So this is seriously at my discretion. Thank you for coming back for another book review. And let's go ahead and get right on into it. Now, this book is called The Front Porch Club by Michelle Major. And this is the cute cover of the book. I was like, oh, they're so cute. I want to be on the porch with a rocking chair and the good view. Yes. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this book, okay? There is a woman named Annalise who was married to Jonathan, and they have two children. Now, Annalise was used to living an upper class life, being the leader of her peers, and not having to worry about money or the typical life woes, right? Well, Annalise was thrown off her pedestal when her husband Jonathan was indicted and now in prison for a Ponzi scheme. Ouch. The things she thought important in life were pretty much stripped away from her. And she had to figure out what to do with the next phase of her life. And it all hit her when her credit card was declined at the store. And her family had to move out of the lavish home into a carriage house that turned out to be a small apartment. Now, Annalise has to navigate being among the common folk in town, the very ones she snubbed in the past. Now, will Annalise be able to adjust to her new circumstances? Will the community be able to get past her connection to Jonathan's bad deeds? Will Annalise be able to move on and find someone to set her ablaze again? Mm-hmm. Well, you will have to read the book to find out. And then there is Margot, which is Annalise's 8-year-old daughter who is spoiled, spoiled, spoiled. Margot's outspokenness, nasty, nice flair, and entitlement is not as acceptable as Annalise once thought. The things Annalise previously taught Margot are coming back to bite her, and now a change of course is needed. Margot doesn't like being poor. Now, how will Margot adjust to her new circumstances? Then there is Trey. And Trey is Annalise's 10-year-old son. And since his father's imprisonment, Trey has been acting out and got into a fight. Now, Trey took his punishment and became friends with a schoolmate named Gus. Will Trey continue on the path of unacceptable behavior, or will this be a one-time situation? Well, you're going to have to read the book to find out how the children adapt to their new reality. Then we have Shauna, who has twin boys, Timmy and Zach. Now, they live in a good neighborhood where Shauna purchased a home that needed some repairs and updating, kind of almost like a fixer-upper, but not on the too bad side. And Shauna has a carriage house that she made into 2 apartments that she rents out for extra income. And they're living a nice, quiet life until Flynn disrupts it. Flynn shows up in town originally to visit his brother Declan. While in town, he found out Annalise also lives there and found out that she has children that look just like him. Oh, yes. Flynn was unaware of having children. Once confirmed Timmy and Zach were his, he decided to become a part of their lives. How does Annalise navigate this upheaval of her life? Will Flynn even stick around? How do the children adapt to this major change in their life? Will Flynn and Shauna rekindle the relationship? Well, you'll have to read the book to find out. Now, Megan is the school art teacher who was given notice of being laid off. Megan is single with no children and will have to figure out what to do next school year since she won't be returning to the school she currently teaches at. Megan doesn't have a high opinion of herself and is hesitant to become involved with a certain someone new in town. Will Megan be able to get past her hangups and take a chance on love? Will Megan be able to find a new job? You will have to read the book to find out. Then there is Walker, a famous musician. He is recovering from the death of his brother Nash and becoming the guardian of his nephew Gus. Walker has moved onto the local farm and is trying to provide a sense of stability and normalcy for himself and Gus. Walker has connected with some of the community members. And will Walker find a new beginning in this town or have more than he bargained for? Then there is Danielle, aka Danny, who arrives in town and has her eyes set for Walker. Danielle has attempted to attach herself to the fundraiser concert, which Walker is hosting and performing at. And she thinks by attaching herself to this fundraiser concert, she will be able to re-spark an old flame between herself and Walker. Now, Danielle and Walker used to have a relationship, and she believes that she can weasel her way back in. Will she get what she wants? Well, you'll have to read the book to find out. Then there is Jake, who is Walker's friend slash handler and farm manager. Now, Jake is rough around the edges, kind of gruff man, and doesn't have time for a meaningful relationship. Jake feels his future is wrapped up in Walker and Gus as their protector. Now, will Jake allow someone into his bubble and forge a future or remain steadfast to the notion of being unattached? Well, as always, you'll have to read the book to find out. So those are the main characters in this story. Now, obviously, there's side characters and some shenanigans going on, but that just gives you an overview of who is involved, okay? So one of the passages I like in the book is as follows. And it says, I know what it's like to grow up feeling like you're not good enough. It's easier to hide your light because if you reveal it, that opens you up to judgment. The scariest thing is that people may think of you as poorly as you do yourself. Food for thought. Now, some of the characters don't think they're good enough to have the life they really desire. They all have hang-ups about themselves, and you'll see them wrestle with those hang-ups in the story. The story shows the characters tackling real life issues. So I listened to the audiobook version, which is just shy of 11 hours long. And on Hoopla, the genre just shows fiction. On Libby, the genre shows fiction and romance. I agree there is some romance happening in the story and definitely some drama. The narrator is Carly Robbins, who did a nice job relaying the story. I think the southern drawl for some of the characters came out very nicely. This book is part 5 of the Carolina Girls series. I have no idea what the previous books are like or how they may be connected. But this is definitely a standalone book, in my opinion. I don't feel as though I missed anything or I didn't feel like I was lost at all. So it's a well rounded story. There are no discussion questions in the book. So some topics of discussion could be the after effects of a divorce, especially when children are involved. How do the children adjust to when a parent is incarcerated? And any lingering stigma attached to them because of the nature of the parent's crime. A conversation on the actions and behaviors of the school and PTA staff in this story. Do you agree or disagree? A conversation on decision to keep the birth of her twins from Flynn. Do you agree or disagree, and why? Discuss how you felt about how Flynn handled becoming a part of the children's lives. Do you agree, disagree, why? The conversation on internal dialogue that we have about ourselves and how that affects our lives. Well, these are just a few to get the conversation started. As always, I left quite a bit out, so you will have something to discover while reading the book. So I'm sure you'll come up with more topics to discuss after reading it. The only warnings I thought of while reading this book is physical violence and sexual content. Okay, so this is a book that shows how the characters overcome hardships of life and personal hangups, coming together as a community and forming friendships. The author kept it entertaining and took you on a journey with the characters. And there is some self growth, budding love, self discovery, perseverance, a little bit of drama. I would like to know what happens next for these characters. I would definitely be down to reading a sequel. You kind of got a little bit invested in the characters once you got to know them, and so yeah, maybe the author will give us a spin-off specifically for this book. So that's why I gave this book an 8.5 out of 10. If you haven't read the book, go get it and tell me what your thoughts are. If you have read the book, comment your thoughts as well. Let us know what you think about this book. Go ahead and click that like, share, subscribe button. And that's it for this round. So as always, until next time, keep turning the pages, my book lovers.